Moderator. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to this session, Ecofeminist Responses to Gender Inequality and Climate Change. My name is Hanna Karlsson, and I am connected to the Swedish Women's Organizations. I will be this session's moderator and guide you through today's presentations and Q&As. This session will take about 90 minutes, and we will explore the interlink between the climate crisis, health, economic empowerment, and education through a gender lens. The agenda for today is that we will start with a short introduction of today's speakers. Then there will be a presentation of the work Green Tech for Women are doing in Nepal by Arya, followed by a Q&A. The presentation will be divided into three main topics, namely biogas plants, menstrual pads, and lastly, recycling of plastic. We also like to encourage you to use this space to share best practices and ask any questions you might have. Lastly, we have prepared a quiz for you on a Mentimeter that Prakriti will help out with. And I'm happy to introduce today's facilitator and speaker. First, we have Prakriti Joshi, who is the Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at Batas Foundation. And Batas Foundation is a non-government, non-profit organization established in 2008, and their mission is to promote a better quality of life among people through developmental and humanitarian interventions. And Prakriti will be facilitator today and help us with any technical issues, if such should happen, as well as help out with the quiz. So please feel free to reach out to Prakriti or me if you encounter any issues during this session. Next, we have today's speakers and presenter, Arya Manhandar. And Arya is a Women Deliver Young Leader and Advisory Group member for the WD 2023 conference. She's a youth mentor for the UNESCO Youth Researchers in Sri Lanka, a former World Literacy Foundation ambassador, and founder of her initiative, Green Tech for Women. She's a national advisor for the Center for Development in Diplomacy in Nepal. And Arya holds a master's degree in international relations from the University of Warwick, and she has previously conducted workshops for the Council of Europe, the International Falcon Movement, Socialist Educational International, and the European Lobby, Woodcraft Fox, Global Peace Foundation, and the College of New Jersey in the US. And Arya, before we begin your presentation, I think it's great that we all have a basic understanding of what this topic entails. So my first questions would be, how would you define ecofeminism? What is that? And also if you can give a bit of background on why and how you start your Green Tech for Women initiative. Thank you. You're on mute, Arya.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Maliha and Prakriti for the support. And thank you, Hannah, for the question. Actually, ecofeminism has a varying definition across all feminists. But my definition of ecofeminism is the overlapping themes of climate change and gender inequality. As we fight for gender inequality, it is very important to also fight for climate change side by side. But when we fight for climate change, we tend to forget women and be inclusive in our fight. So for me, ecofeminism is overlapping of these two themes. And for me, biogas plant or any other initiative as a part of Green Tech for Women is developing ecofeminist solutions that would be a solution to not just one problem, but two crucial problems that we face in the globe today. So I was always interested in climate change since I started studying in school. And I was always passionate about gender inequality, but I didn't know how these two relate to each other. And later, when I started studying about the interlink between these two topics, then I got to know that climate change has a very grave effect on the most vulnerable parts of the population, especially women and girls. And then women and girls also can contribute to climate change, fight for climate change. And these inextricably linked topics were actually something that I wanted to study more on. And that's exactly how I got to start Green Tech for Women, that is for the betterment of women and climate.
Thank you. And would you like to start your presentation on your initiative on biogas plants, please?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll just share my screen for the presentation. Just a second. So again, I'd like to introduce all of you to this session, which is Ecofeminist Project Model to Climate Change. And we will be talking mostly about biogas plant, but as Hannah mentioned, we'll be talking about the distribution of menstrual pads and how that impacts women and girls. We'll also be talking about the recycling of plastics and how women and girls can be part of it and how it impacts them. So we'll start with the biogas plant and all the other projects that we are currently doing as a part of Green Tech for Women in this session. So moving on with our session, Green Tech for Women aims at developing, promoting, and supporting ecofeminist project models, mainstream gender issues, and include all women in renewable energy sector at organizational, programmatic, and policy levels. And we also look forward to actively recommend and oppose policies in Nepal. In the global fight for women's empowerment and the fight against climate change, particularly by emphasizing on the importance of ecofeminist solutions, this session will explore the interlink between climate crisis, health and economic empowerment and education through a gendered lens. And we believe in empowering women as the key drivers for the transition to low carbon economies. And what does climate justice mean to you? So this question can be explored by Hannah and Prakriti in the session later in the session. But to me, as Hannah asked me, climate justice is in realizing different impact of climate change on different individuals based in various social setups, particularly the most vulnerable groups, including children, the elderly, people with pre-existing health conditions, outdoor workers, and people who are actually I'm so sorry about the slide. So people of color, people with low income, and women who are at even more risk of because of the compounding factors of climate change. So that is why I think climate change, gender and generational inequality, diversity, equity, and inclusion cannot be separated from each other. So to me, climate justice is an inclusive movement, and we can discuss what climate justice means to all of us in the latter part of this session. And I'd also like to discuss what would we be overlooking if we only examined at the interlink between climate crisis and health, climate crisis and education, or climate crisis and economy without addressing gender inequality. So how can eco-friendly sanitation products be introduced into our communities, especially those that have no access to basic sanitation? How may a simple household task, such as cooking, be harmful to women's health and environment because of traditional gender roles? We intend to explore these questions and understand new concepts and share relevant data and women's narrative for the betterment of women, girls, and climate. And we'll discuss how ecofeminist innovations such as biogas plant can be a solution to two crucial global issues we face till date as climate change and gender inequality further in the session. And again, there's a question that everyone would ask when we talk about ecofeminist solution and climate change impacting women and girls, disproportionately. How and why women are more vulnerable to climate change and environment risks? This is the question that we face often. And the South Asian patriarchal system boils down to women being responsible for traditional household chores, such as collection of fodder, collection of, the firewood for cooking, and therefore being disproportionately affected by household air pollution caused by the inefficient burning of solid biomass cooking fuels. Furthermore, the amount of time and effort collecting the traditionally used biomass fuels, collection of fodder, a physically draining task that can take up to 20 or more hours per week, is a significant environmental and health problem. So this is how gender inequality and climate change is interrelated, especially in the hills and Himalayas of Nepal. On average, in a traditional household, 56.7% of the time required for fuel collection falls on women, equating to around 374 hours per year compared to 286 hours for men. So women who use biogas and clean cook stoves spend only 305 hours on fuel collection. To make it simpler, they save approximately 70 hours per year when they use eco-feminist project models such as biogas plant or clean cook stoves. This is a huge issue because when they save time, that can be utilized in doing other things, which again results in their empowerment. And we can talk about that later in the session. In rural areas, more than 70% of the girls have dropped out of school by the age of 16 for household tasks of collecting fodder and for traditional methods of cooking, lack of menstrual products. And all these issues are very interrelated with climate change as well. So we've tried to work and develop and promote these solutions, the solutions that deal with these issues, which are very much interlinked. So our first project, as Hannah mentioned, was menstrual pad distribution. And this is the project that happened last year and this year. So our focus was on the alarming rates of school dropouts among girls without access to menstrual products and sanitary hygiene overall. So on December 8, marking the Dignified Menstrual Day in last year, we distributed menstrual pads to girls and teachers and staffs attending a government school based in the outskirts of Kathmandu Valley. So I got to speak with the school-going girls on their preferred menstrual products as they describe the pros and cons of each product they have used till date. And the distribution of sanitary napkins has always been well received than menstrual cups, but that's actually not really good for environment. And similarly, tampons also in this region are very unpopular. So the unaffordability of sanitary napkins, usually that are not eco-friendly, have been limiting the purchase of it. So all the pads distributed by Green Tech for Women were provided by Thelma and Louise France, an organization based in France. And they have also started supporting women-led menstrual pads industries in Nepal. So Green Tech for Women is collaborating with Thelma and Louise France in promoting this distribution of menstrual pads. Not just that, locally led pad industries, which are actually led by women. So talking about projects, there is another upcoming project that Green Tech for Women is associated with, and it's kind of ongoing. So it's with Hello Waste France again. So we have collaborated with a French company that recycles plastic wastes into products. We plan to provide free training, workshops, and machine to women in upcoming years. To make a comb, we need only 2 bottles of water or shampoo bottles, 3 bottles of shampoo or plastic bottles for a soap holder, and the shampoo bottles or cream are need some color to be added for enhancing its outlook. We will need to have the bottle cleaned. We can get the machine that's not really expensive for cleaning the bottles. As an addition to this project, we can do 10 to 12 small objects per hour, so we can produce bigger object if we dedicate more time. So it depends on how we want to move forward with this project. So what I was thinking about this project is, as it reduces plastic, we will be training women and we will be helping women collect the plastic wastes and lead the machine as a company, so that they don't have to pay us back, but they have to show us a 5-year plan, and there's profitability of the production of these products. So we just basically want to promote them to lead their company and also impact environment. So this is our second project, and the third one that we'll be talking about most of the session is biogas plant. So I'd like to share a small video about the biogas plant and how it works and what impact it has on environment and why is it so relatable and relevant more than ever in this age. Utilization of bioslurry in Nepal. The green forests, once considered the wealth of Nepal, are depleting gradually. The major reason behind this phenomenon is ever increasing household demand for firewood and fuel. Voices are being raised from different sectors that if we don't seek its alternative, it's for sure Nepal's forest will completely be depleted. Therefore, given the increasing demand for energy, expansion of biogas plant in rural areas is beginning to be the major emphasis everywhere. Since 1977, a multitude of private sector biogas companies, national and international organizations, for example, Biogas Support Program (BSP) and banking sectors are at work. As a result, by September 2006, more than 150,000 plants were in operation through different biogas companies. the major component used in the biogas plant. Though there are different models of biogas plants, fixed dome model is the popular model for household plants in Nepal. In this model, both slurry and reduced gas remain in the same space. The slurry remains below, while the gas remains floated above. Biogas model is mainly made up of bricks, sand, concrete, cement, and stones. On one side of the dome, a small hole is made for the purpose of feeding raw materials through an inlet. On its opposite side, an external outlet is made for slurry discharge. In the middle of the dome, a gas pipe is fixed for extraction of gas produced in the dome. For the equal amount of dung and water, for example, 16 kilograms of dung with 16 liters of water for 10 cubic meter plant is flung in the plant's dung mixture machine, mixing them manually. It is then sent to the digester in the lower hole, but the insolvents like stone with mud should not be mixed in. On availability of improved barn, urine of animal can be collected, and instead of water, the urine of animal can be used. After a certain time, the raw materials fed into the digester come out as effluent. The gas generated inside the digester helps digestive effluent to come out. Benefits of biogas plant. The deforestation for household use of firewood is causing floods, landslides, and desertification in rural areas of Nepal. Using biogas is one way to prevent deforestation. Since manure, wastes, etc. used in biogas plants, it helps in keeping household environment healthy. It provides a smokeless environment for cooking food. Lighting is also possible through biogas plant, which provides a healthy environment for study. Use of chemical fertilizers has exposed many side effects, but use of slurry directly or after making compost increases fertility of soil. This is the best fertilizer if compared to the time taken to cook in traditional cooking stoves. Cooking in biogas saves 2-3 hours of time as compared to the traditional cooking stoves. So that was the video about biogas plant, and I just want to share a short snippet of our field visit, which was last year. And this is Devi's Jor. And this is showing us our field. We can see the hills, we can see Himalayas. We have Savitriji working for a cleaner and greener future by adopting Ecofeminist project model biogas plant. Here we mix the animal manure, vegetable waste, and this is the modern toilet, and pipeline is joined here. So all the three wastes are being digested in the dome. In this dome, anaerobic fermentation takes place in the absence of oxygen and presence of microorganisms, which is why electricity and gas are produced as the main products. That's only the main product, and we are going to see where the byproduct will be used. This field is hers, and she uses the byproduct of this plant. The slurry is collected in the dump there. She uses it as a compost fertilizer. This is the gas being produced by the biogas plant. And we can smell the methane already. It's not like the cylinder gas. So the smell is a little different. That's what I can sense. So what can we make some also? So the gas being produced lasts more than 1 hour. That's what we intend us. That's pretty good for a household full of 4 people. The pressure meter is to measure the amount of gas that is being collected. So this is the kitchen. You can see the orange texture. Today we are here at the shore to find out more about our Ecofeminist project model biogas plant. In here, what she's doing is she's mixing animal manure, vegetable waste, and the modern toilet waste. That is the toilet, and the modern toilet waste has been connected. The pipeline has been connected to the digester. So this is basically the mixing tank, which contains the animal manure, vegetable waste, and the modern toilet waste. So that is the video, and we also have the interview of women who are actually showing the biogas plant with us to us in the video, but the video interview is in Nepali. So they basically talk about how the saved time results in their empowerment. As women and girls, they have more time for themselves. Girls go to school, women are involved in entrepreneurship activities, in political activities in their towns, and they use the saved time to utilize the byproduct, which is slurry, as shown in the video, for organic farming, fish farming, and it has been proven by research that these organic products, may it be fish farming or organic agriculture, these products have been providing the women and girls more advantage in the marketplace where they can sell their products in more price than earlier because of the organic slurry being the best fertilizer as found by research. So we'll move on to another slide. Is it feasible? So there's a statement from father of St. Xavier's School in Nepal, who actually has testified that it is a very feasible project, because we might tend to doubt the feasibility of ecofeminist project models and specifically biogas plant, because we might doubt how can animal manure or a modern waste actually produce electricity and gas. So it is actually feasible because father has tried it himself in a coffee can. So it is definitely possible when technicalities are considered and plant is made. Technical experts have come in and shared their views. So it is definitely feasible. So there is no need to worry in installation of a biogas plant. This is the biogas structure. There are a lot of technicalities, but I'll be showing a picture which basically gives us a view internally, because in the video I can only show the outward view of the plant, but this is how the biogas plant works. Animal manure is fed through the inlet, and usually the toilet waste is also connected in the inlet. So the plant is fed with animal manure and modern toilet waste through the inlet, as shown in the diagram. The digester can be seen, the gas outlet can be seen, and there is the outlet inlet arrows that we can follow. So this is the biogas plant, and as I mentioned earlier, the slurry, as we can see on the right-hand side of the plant, is the organic fertilizer that is being used for organic agriculture and fish farming. Biogas plants rely on the anaerobic digestion of fermentation process in which waste is digested by microbes to produce methane gas. By capturing methane emissions, biogas plant work to curb the greenhouse effect and limit the number of harmful gases spread in the atmosphere. So do biogas plants lead to self-sufficiency? Yes, of course. This decentralized energy system can lead to self-sufficiency in heat and power requirements, and at the same time reduces environmental pollution as well. A biogas plant stabilizes organic waste through natural biological process in the absence of air and presence of microorganisms. So such facilities are well suited to wet organic material and are commonly used for treating biodegradable waste materials, such as waste paper, grass clippings, leftover food, sewage, and animal waste. So metal particles and wood clippings are actually not beneficial to the plant, and it is advised that these particles should not be used because it has nothing to contribute to the plant, and it might be causing some issues in the plant operations. So the things that will be used are waste paper, grass clippings, leftover food, sewage, and animal waste, and also modern toilet waste. So as mentioned, biogas impacts all areas. We have already discussed a little bit about how biogas plant or any ecofeminist project model impacts women and girls and climate change as well. So we can see here why biogas plant is an ecofeminist project model. It eradicates poverty and hunger. There is an indirect impact to employment, agriculture, yield, ensures environmental sustainability, reduces GHGs, saves trees. Universal primary education, girl-child literacy is being promoted by this plant by saved time of girl-child in rural areas. A lot of times we go to rural areas and we promote girl-child education, we promote women to be in entrepreneurship, involved in entrepreneurship activities. We promote a lot of other things that are quite empowering for women and girls. But once we come back, they fall back upon following the traditional gender roles because we cannot provide an alternative to them. So as we advocate for these issues, it is very important for us to provide them with solutions, feasible solutions, alternatives, so that they can follow and empower their women and girls. So this project or any other ecofeminist solutions are actually an alternative that they would be willing to follow and would benefit them. So a lot of times our advocacy needs backing of solutions which are feasible for people to follow. And the direct impact could be reduced unpaid labor, girl, child, and women. And cleaner indoor environment is another advantage of biogas plant: improved health and sanitation, reduced child mortality, and improved nutrition, improved maternal health, and all of this relating to women empowerment and girl-child empowerment. So electricity and gas that are generated by plant fed with animal manure, vegetable waste, and modern toilet waste has proven to be beneficial in curbing deforestation, reducing the use of chemical fertilizers, and empowering women and girls. So as we know, climate change is a social issue with unequal impacts differentiated by wealth, gender, and other factors. Ongoing energy transformation driven by renewables is bringing far-reaching systemic change to our societies. So this offers important opportunities for greater inclusion and inequality. This is life without biogas, a few images that we've taken. So we've found extraordinary changes in women's health post-plant installation. More importantly, the financial independence derived from the time and access to education, entrepreneurship opportunity, utilizing the byproducts of the plant for organic and fish farming, or making homemade standard sanitary items for other women is prime focus of our initiative. And we look forward to exploring more ways of capacity building of women, promotion of girl-child education, who no longer have to collect fodder in forests and who have saved up their precious time and energy. Post-plant installation is clean and green energy is now accessible to all. So women's good health and financial independence derived from the save time, capacity building workshops have helped them explore several entrepreneurship opportunities and has reduced the burden of household chores, mainly collecting firewood and then washing the dishes, which are actually very dark with the residue of firewood. And these are the issues which have been solved by installation of biogas plant. And we look forward to not just expand our understanding of climate change and gender in this session, but also learn from all of us what solutions are there that we could incorporate in future. And what can other organizations and institutions or private sectors help us, maybe Green Tech for Women and other organizations that are based in grassroots to move forward. We have various layers in our society, such as caste, creed, religion, and socioeconomic status in Nepal, impacting gender, restricting them energy access. And it is great to see ecofeminist initiatives, poverty reduction, visibility of gender and energy interlinkage stemming from alternative energy projects. But we still need to develop measures that would subsidize the cost of plan for families adopting this ecofeminist model. And this is the future community model. And this is another futuristic community model. But what is missing in the cycle? Of course, women and girls' lives, the socioeconomic implications and disproportionate impact of biogas on different sections of the society. And of course, its impact on women's, empowerment, where they could be part of the politics of the town, traditional gender cooking, collection of fodder, girl-child education, women utilizing their time in entrepreneurship activities. So all of this is not mentioned in this cycle, but this can be a futuristic design or futuristic, plant design, which is a future community model here, and then the plan that and then this slide that explains how and what are the impact areas of the plant installation. So there are relevant data and fast facts. So I'd like to share that. So these are the relevant data and fast facts. 75% of the women and men perceive that women face barriers in clean energy and initiatives and work. So there are a lot of data that relate to how women and girls are impacted by climate change and vice versa. So I'd like to pass it on to Hannah. So if she has any questions, she can over to Hannah. And then if she would like to pass it to Prakriti for Mentimeter, that would be great too.
Yes, thank you so much, Arya, for this presentation. I feel like I'm not probably the only one who learned a lot about biogas. And I would also take this opportunity to open for any questions from the audience. So I'll start asking a question, but please feel free to use the chat for any questions, or if you have also any other good ecofeminist models that you want to share, best practices, because this is a session that is open for exchanging ideas and different projects. So Arya, staying on this biogas project, I would just want to ask the first question, which is, what has been the biggest obstacles that you have met trying to implement this model? Because I think we all understand the benefits from it, but have been any obstacles in trying to implement this model?
Yeah, thank you, Hannah, for your question. There are a lot of obstacles. There are different obstacles for menstrual pants. There are different obstacles for recycled plastic waste. But particularly talking about biogas plant, the challenges that we face is a lack of skills of people to utilize biogas plants. So there needs to be a proper training for people who are installing it, people who are actually working for installing it, and people who are the owners of biogas plant. That is one. And the other challenge that we are facing is the subsidies are being provided by the government, but that is not being, that message is not being passed into the village areas of Nepal. So people do not go for biogas plant because they think that it's expensive. But more than that, the challenge that I found when I was interacting with a lot of people in rural areas was the cultural stigma. So people are quite skeptical because it's a society which is layered by religion, sub-layered by culture. So people are very skeptical about using a gas that is produced from waste products such as animal manure and modern toilet waste. So they feel that it is very wrong to cook food in something which comes from waste. So that is a stigma, a cultural stigma, I'd say, which is again, impacted by religion and cultural layers in Nepal. So that was one of the biggest challenges because that is one challenge that requires a lot of counseling, a lot of layers to be, we need a lot of unlayering to tackle this problem, because girl-child education, women's save time can be utilized, girl-child education can be promoted. But first of all, to tell people that this project is actually beneficial for the environment and them, but convince them who are actually, following rites and rituals that might prevent them to use this plant is something which I think we are still dealing with. That is a problem and ongoing problem, and I think it will require certain years or maybe decades to get rid of the cultural stigma.
Thank you, Arya. So there are a lot of different areas to work on at the same time in order to implement these type of products. My next question would be, you started the session to talk a bit about climate justice and also to define ecofeminism. And you have explained it, but maybe you can also try to define again, how is this approach different from other models? And would you say it's a more successful model? And if so, why? You're on mute, yeah.
Thank you for your question again. So for me, as we spoke about climate justice, it's a realization of how climate change disproportionately impacts different parts of the society and different sections of the society. Most vulnerable ones are the usually, bearers of are the people who bear the brunt of climate change more than the other sections of the population. So that was a great realization for me to recognize that women and girls, their SRHR, sexual and reproductive health rights, and their traditional gender roles actually intensify the effect of climate change on them. And it was very interesting for me to know that when women and girls are actually adopting biogas plant, they can also contribute positively to climate change. So that was this is not a one-sided, beneficial program or beneficial project. So here, women and girls and climate change can be very much interlinked, and they can impact each other positively. So that was one aspect why I chose to, work on this project. So this model is definitely, I would say, a great model, not just for the environment for women and girls. And there might be a lot of other projects that might be beneficial for environment and women and girls, and a lot of other areas. But for me, because I'm interested in gender inequality and climate change both, so I think these two issues were close to my heart, and this plan deals with both the crucial issues and provide solutions to both of it. And I also realized that providing alternatives is the best solution in rural areas of Nepal. When we just advocate certain ideologies and we come back, I think they fall back into the pattern of following traditional gender roles. So if we install this plant, and then that provides a safe time to girls and women, I think that can be utilized in order for them to go to schools. But the initial idea should have been equality at all levels. But in certain areas of our country, I think layer by layer, we need to tackle the situation. So that is how I thought of this project, and then how it relates to climate justice. My idea of climate justice, of how disproportionate impact of climate change is felt by women and girls, and how women and girls can impact climate change. I think these are the issues that led me to think about the global solutions for climate change and gender inequality. And this plant, or menstrual pants and recycling of plastic waste, all of these projects relates to that, because in recycling of plastic waste, also women are actually getting employment. They are, they are leading the company. They will be leading the companies that will be doing that. They will be getting machines to do that. And again, it deals with the recycling of plastics. So that is a major issue in Nepal, especially the urban areas and semi-urban areas of Nepal. So that is one. And the menstrual products, actually, when we spoke to the girls who attend the school of, Nepal, which is based in the outskirts of Kathmandu Valley, we found out that a lot of girls, they drop out in their attendance because of lack of menstrual products and sanitary hygiene, and a lot of other issues to do with SRHR. So we thought of promoting something to do with climate change, as well as the women and girls' health. So menstrual pants are actually a very sustainable product for that can be used by women and girls, and it's very sustainable as well. So these are the products that we plan on continuing, and we plan on learning more about more solutions. But I don't think so one solution is better than the other. As you ask me which solution could be better than the other, or this is the ultimate solution or not. So I think any solution to climate change and gender equality, I think we need to embrace it, given the situation of climate change right now and the gender inequality, existing gender inequality. So I feel none of the project can be compared to each other, and I think be ranked. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yes, thank you, Arya. Yeah, maybe it's also good to look at them as they are working towards the same goal. Really good answer. And you talked a bit about these menstrual pants and how that's also connected to SHRA. I was wondering, in that product with menstrual pants, have you encountered any stigmas, or have there been any difficulties also in this product, any obstacles that you have met?
The first obstacle that I met with is, again, a stigma. The girls in the schools, they're very shy in coming forward to collect the pants, but that was an outer level challenge that we faced. But I feel the inner challenges that when I spoke to them, we found out was lack of buckets, lack of clean and fresh water. So when we go and distribute menstrual pants, there is another challenge that that we need to ensure. Will they have access to clean water? Will they have access to clean buckets? Will they the toilets that they are using? Do they have enough resources to use menstrual pads? So when we distribute products, we might just distribute it, but we do not know if they have the resources to keep it clean, to dry it, to wash it. So that was some issue that we found a few girls were dealing with, and we plan to work on that. How can we bridge the gap between them using the menstrual pads and the resources that they require to use menstrual pads? So there was a official from Thelma and Lewis, who suggested that in our upcoming project of recycling plastics, so we can make buckets that would be specifically used for menstrual pants and the washing of menstrual pants. So we could relate these two projects together in that way. But then again, clean water and sanitation becomes an issue in all the areas, because that is something which is a prerequisite when it comes to using any product which is related to SRHR, which is related to sanitation. So that is again something which is very subjective, because a lot of girls, they have access to it, a lot of girls, they might not have access to it. So that makes the feasibility of our product it's quite subjective. So, and it's also one of the biggest challenges that I think we face.
Thank you, Arya. And I'm not seeing any questions so far in the chat, so let me know if anyone has anything to share. Otherwise, I'll continue to my last question for today, which is, so these are local projects, and I was wondering, do you have any plans to scale this up? Can these type of projects be implemented in other parts of Nepal or in other countries? And what would you need in order to do so? What is needed in order to implement this type of projects?
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of areas in Nepal, they require support, but I feel as of now, I don't think so. I plan on expanding the areas, but I plan on keeping up the projects that we have touched upon, because that would diversify our, project areas, and that might we might lose focus on one particular project that we are doing, or three projects that we are doing right now. So as of now, I don't expand on diversifying the products or diversify, but I plan on diversifying the areas. But while doing so, I also am very wary of the fact that if I diversify the areas of the project, then I might not be able to provide continued support to the areas that we have already worked with. So that requires constant work and constant support. Any area that we are working with requires at least constant support till 5 years. So I think I plan on continuing that, and if time permits, then diversifying our areas. But if there are any new projects, we'd love to learn about it and promote it. But as of now, I think we'd like to focus our put all our focus on the three projects, so that we don't lose the focus on these three issues that already deals with a lot of other impact areas. And maybe in future, like maybe after 5 years, we would be able to incorporate a lot of other diversification of products. And for that, we definitely require funding, small grants and grants. But again, when it comes to accepting grants and funding from organizations, we need to also pay attention to the areas that they're trying to focus on, to the ethics of our organization and theirs. So a lot of times that might not match, and that might match in a lot of that might match a lot of times, but because of COVID restrictions, because of the donation, charity, tax issues, I think what we require right now is moral support from any organization, and promotion of our initiative. And I also would like to see other organizations coming with solutions that we would be able to promote, and other organizations promoting our project areas. So I think that is something that I would like to see right now, and then I'd really appreciate as part of Green Tech for Women. And I think Green Tech for Women requires moral and ethical support as of now, and then we'll see if in future we could move forward with the diversification of our project areas.
Thank you, Arya. So anyone listening right now, if you work for a similar organization, please reach out to Green Tech for Women and Arya, and maybe you can share some best practices and experiences. So now we'll move on to the last part of this session, which is a quiz that has been prepared. So Prakriti, could you please share the Mentimeter?
Sure, thank you. I'll share my screen. Okay. So I think everybody can see my screen.
Yes, so if everyone log into menti.com.
Yes, I'll share the link and the code in the chat box as well.
Perfect. And the code is 87853042.
So let's make this quiz as much interactive as possible. So this quiz is just for an interactive purpose, how much we have gained knowledge about this interaction session that we just had. So let's wait for at least some players. Then
Yes.
we might.
Perfect. Okay, I see that some players have joined.
Okay. So let's just start with the players we have right now. So we have just few questions. So just answer as you know. So you can look into your own screen. I'll start it. First question is ecofeminism approach to climate change. Okay, majority of our participants has answered encouragement in participation of women and marginalized groups. However, as you have already seen in the screen, all the answers were approach to ecofeminism to climate change. So any answer would have been correct. Moving to next. Next question, importance to take an ecofeminist approach to climate change. So again, we can see there's a variance in answers. So, however, all the answers were correct. All the answers were why it is important to take an ecofeminist approach to climate change. So, again, moving on to next question. What materials can biogas plant digested treat? So we had already discussed in this session. So we had 3 right answers and 2 wrong. So I had mentioned that metal particles, wood particles, and stone granules are not as accepted in the digested treat. However, sewage, animal waste, grass clippings, waste paper, and leftover food can be used. So moving on to next question again, and the last question. Areas of biogas plants impact. So very interesting answers. We all think something is more important than another, but however, every answer was correct except for none of the above, obviously. So thank you so much for everyone's participation in this quiz. Over to you, Hannah.
Yes, thank you everyone who participated, and tricky questions when there are multiple answers that are right. But there's also to see how important it is with an ecofeminist approach. So before we close this session, I would like to invite Arya again to share if anyone would like to get in contact with Green Tech for Women after this session. How do they get in contact with you?
Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, I will just share the portion of the screen again because I have my contact information displayed in the screen. So I hope I'll be able to share this on screen, which will make it easier for anyone who would want to contact Green Tech for Women. And this is the screen. So I will go to the presenter's view. Yeah, I hope you can see the screen and the contact information. So we can be contacted at greentechforwomen@gmail.com, and our phone number is 9863446062. We also have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram account. So the name is again Green Tech for Women. So it would be very easy to find us and our initiatives. We've also been featured in a few of news clippings and few of articles that has been mentioning about Ecofeminist project model, because this is an emerging topic. And we are very proud to share that as well. But we'd love to be in contact with anyone, any organization to further expand our knowledge, to develop and promote even more and new interesting ecofeminist project models. And we'd still like to continue our focus on these 3 project models in coming years, so that we don't get diverted to other projects and just leave this behind. So I think if there are anyone interested who would be watching this video, which would be recorded in future, if they would want to contact us or get in touch with us or give us with their feedbacks and inputs, they're always welcome to do so.
Thank you so much. And I would like to thank the organizers for this session, for this conference. A big thank for Prakriti and Arya for contributing to this session, and everyone who's been attending this session or watch it afterwards. Thank you so much, and I wish you a lovely evening.
Hello everyone. Can everyone turn their cameras on so we can take a photo? Okay, done.
Thank you so much, Maliha and ICCAD team. Thank you, Hannah and Prakriti, for your support. And ICCAD, I'd like to thank you for providing us the opportunity, even though Green Tech for Women is a very small organization initiative. We're starting from Nepal and we are working in the rural areas, and it's not a big organization, but we plan to work in the grassroots, and not in planning to be a big organization, but we plan to continue to be grassroots. So thank you for promoting that.
Yep. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Okay, everyone, have a lovely evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.